let's get into these spoilers. So, if you haven't, thank you. If you haven't seen the show yet, what are you doing here? No, I'm just joking. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it, though. Still, thank you. But we're gonna get to the spoilers here, and we're gonna spoil them in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
Wow.
Literally nobody can die.
No, they can't.
Except for ex-Imperials. Am I right? They all died. That was intense.
Ex-Imperials are just goners.
Cannon fodder, my friend.
Yeah. On that ship in the opening scene is what you're talking about?
What?
Ex-Imperials? What are you talking about?
Oh, no. I'm talking about later. I'm sorry. I jumped to a later point, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
No, but actually the New Republic.
The New Republic, same thing. They just throwaways. I like that stuff though, because they came in heavy and they had to force it. Like they came in kind of sneaky, Balin and all that. I loved that. They came in like, we're Jedi, and then the guy was like, yeah, right, Jedi, you're a liar.
Yeah, he bet the entire sabacc pot and definitely lost on that one. Pretty hard.
He was not nice about it either. No. He was like bringing it.
I was like,
he was just at least going to get punched in the face if nothing else.
I was like, maybe you should have your guns drawn at least. Like they wouldn't be that bold and not have a plan, you know? Like what a doofus that guy was.
He was confident.
He was cocky. That was cocky. That was dumb.
And it was
just
silly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
it was cool though. And the disappointing part of that though was it's an older code. I wanted him to say the line, it's an older code, sir, but it still checks out.
Yeah.
From the OG, man. They missed it. We're this close to greatness.
All right, so there's hot takes coming in hot, like big time stuff here. Do you want to jump? You want to hit some of these and then we'll work our way backwards?
It's a conversation.
All right, so I think what happened with Hannah is that Ezra Bean got friend zoned.
Boom. And
it's even worse than friend zoned.
It kind of is.
Sister friend
zoned. I know, dude.
Right.
It was.
That's way worse than friend zoned.
She said, "Hey, the brother sister Ezra Bean, I'm going into denial."
I really don't think there's a way out of being brother sister zoned, whereas friend zoned you might have a chance out. Brother sister zone. That
was
it might get weird. After
I was like,
that
seriously, they're pulling that right off the bat. I was like, come on, dude, come on. That fell out of left field.
Yeah, it kind of hurts.
Like it was like it felt like a pivot. Like you watch Rebels and then you go and you watch Rebels, you're like, oh, dude, he obviously likes her.
That's exactly what
makes total sense. And then the next scene you get at the end of Rebels after that is, I like that you're like my sister. You're like, what the poop? Are they related or something now? Are we pulling a Luke?
No, there's no way. But yeah. I don't know if maybe he was nervous when he made the hollow thing, and he's like, you're like a sister to me. But
but he was never.
He knew he was leaving. He didn't want to leave it and be like, "I love you so much from the bottom of my heart."
That's a good
See
point.
ya.
That's
and then he's gone for ever. Maybe dead.
Maybe he didn't want her to wait for him,
to hang on to her,
knowing that he was gonna have to leave, possibly forever.
So I'm just trying to.
That's
find
a good
bright
point.
Spot.
Maybe he was being more considerate and he was being even more loving.
Chivalry, man.
Chivalry. It's not dead with Ezra. Is he dead?
Is he dead?
We don't know. No, but that's a good point. I like that. So there's still hope. There's this tiny, tiny bit of hope.
Yeah.
It's definitely weird at this point. But yeah, to Matt's point, I mean, it is weird.
It's a tough,
it's a weird
place to get out of.
It's a tough place to get out.
I have sibling. Yeah, that's.
And if you do, I mean, it's kind of awkward after that. I feel like.
I mean, Luke and Leia, what happened?
Nothing.
Tell me this true story.
More than what should have happened.
I know. Why does Star Wars have these issues?
Right.
It's not that complicated. If I find out that Din and Bo are related, I'm going to be angry.
Share blood.
Dave's like, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Are Din Bo, are they related too, for crying out loud? I thought of you like a sister. Turns out we are related.
Right.
We checked the lineage. Get out of here.
That would be weird. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So that's definitely kind of a con, in my opinion, unless they're playing it the way that you said, Dan, where it's more chivalry than anything.
I mean, that's the 10% hope you have, If you really, if Ezra Bean is the thing that must be seen, then that's what you got.
All right. So yeah, are we going into? You want to start? We want to hit the negatives first or go positives? Which one do you guys want to do?
We're already on negatives.
We're diving deep, and we're gonna come back out of this chasm.
We're gonna come out positive. Okay, we're gonna go in negative, and we're gonna come out positive with all you people. We're gonna turn your minds around, mind, and we're gonna be out.
Tell me the number one thing that drove you crazy. What was it?
What was the number one thing that drove me crazy? I feel like you have almost a hot take on that.
Do I?
I kind of have a complaint.
All right, Matt, go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
Very small.
This is for
I don't even know
1.
why it bothered me, but something was off about the Loth cat. I don't know why, but I didn't like it that much.
Really interesting.
Aw.
Felt wrong.
I felt like they did a pretty good job, all things considered, with that. But
I don't know.
I think it was because it was mechanical. Like it was like an actual. Well, in some scenes, it was definitely like an actual prop.
Okay.
With the mouth.
Right. It just something seemed off to me.
It was Caddy Valley.
Oh man, get out of here!
Oh, that was bad. You get it?
Nope.
No. Uncanny Valley is whenever they do like live action faces or CGI'd faces, but your mind is just like, there's something wrong there. It looks rubbery. It looks weird.
Right.
You know, or like a Android that they put like a human face on. Your mind's just like, that's not right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying with the cat.
My mind's not right.
It's not your mind. But like Tarkin in Rogue One, like he looked it was really good, but he looked a little off.
Yeah.
Like that's not a normal human. Like your brain just can't compute.
True.
But anyway, so that's one of the negatives was the Loth cat.
Yes.
Swinging out the gate.
Just want to get that out there.
That's hilarious.
Everyone's got their thoughts.
I think for me, there's 1 and 2, but number 1 for me, I just don't understand. I just can't got it. Is getting stabbed with a lightsaber.
Boom.
And not like giving it enough time to breathe where like, okay, you got stabbed. Like you're not, the way they played it is like, she's dying. She's dead. Like,
but you knew she wasn't.
But you know, she wasn't. Well, this is Sabine we're talking about. She had a lot of screen time in that first episode. You know, almost like they intend to do that. They lean into somebody for a long time and then they die at the end, or you know what I mean? But she didn't, you know, she got stabbed, and fine that she got stabbed. I don't think they had to stab her to end the fight. Clearly, as Ahsoka was showing up to save the day, right, and they were already getting rushed. You know, Shin didn't want to face Ahsoka and whoever else was on that ship, you know,
right,
and so she could have just knocked her over the head, or they could have played it however. So they stabbed her, right? Fine, good deal.
Yeah, but why didn't she just move the lightsaber to the right whenever she's stabbed?
If you want to end something and you got them stabbed, in my opinion, you just swipe right and they're dead. Like they're never coming back.
You're on a dating app.
You're on a dating app.
I don't know. I've never done a dating app, but you swipe right with the lightsaber.
Swipe right to kill your foes.
They're dead. A stab doesn't do it anymore. You know, like historically speaking, a stab would do it. Yeah, not anymore. Right. So she's all.
What's the point of stabbing someone?
Because we watched the second episode and you see what happens right away. We're talking about episode 1 and the way it hung out there. It didn't breathe enough, in my opinion, and so that's just all that I complain about because it happened before in Star Wars, and I got a little PTS Disney.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
And if I think of
Disney. One of the worst things they could have done in this show was remind us.
It reminded me of that, and it was the last thing I was trying to think of, and I was like, why is this? Oh, this happened before to the same person twice. And they just walked up like 5 minutes. They just stood up and walked away like, ouch, like they got cut, you know?
Yeah. It really just takes away like Qui-Gon rolling over in his grave being like, come on, guys, seriously? I'm the only one who dies from getting stabbed with a lightsaber?
Perfect example, Qui-Gon. Now, I know location, you know, maybe that cauterizes the wound. It's the wrong location, the right location.
Right, it could be
but the stab is now becoming like a semi-fatal, not fatal blow. You know,
like a paper cut.
Yeah, it's like
like a grazing headshot. You know, in war movies, like a headshot is a kill. A grazing, but the only chance you have to survive is if you get a graze. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't get you.
It's just a flesh wound.
I mean, this is me, but that's all. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the worst thing they could have done was remind us of Reva from Obi-Wan, and that's exactly what they did there. And I'm going to say, I actually felt like it was kind of poor timing to do that and then have Ray Stevens. This is dedicated to Ray Stevens after that. Maybe I'm the only one who thought that, but I was like, that's bad timing right there. Yeah. Okay. You just like ended the show off with somebody potentially dying, and then you say, for Ray Stevens. I was like, okay, maybe you should have done it after episode 2. Just saying.
Just at the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, that would have been a better
everyone
place,
already
too.
knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This entire series is dedicated to Ray Stevens. I think that would have been a better nod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it will be. But.
Yeah, we have some questions about the stabbing. Did Shin mean to kill Sabine?
Maybe not.
Some people aren't really thinking that was the intention, but
that's a good way to
Manrique said
think
at
of it.
least Ahsoka was right there to help and had healing droids nearby.
Yeah, that's the only explanation, right? It had to happen. Yeah, I would like to see Bacta though, like Dustin said that last night.
Yeah,
show her in a Bacta tank or
that's
something.
all they had to do. Show her in a Bacta tank.
Right. Don't just put them in a modern hospital and then she's like sitting up like 10 minutes later, kind of,
Yeah, like show her in a Bacta tank and then just have a one-off. Like we're glad we got to her as quick as we did. Otherwise, she could have died.
Yeah, but
that's literally all they had to say. And then it would have been like, oh, okay, Ahsoka was right there. She got her immediate help.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is a Jedi. Maybe she has some force healing abilities.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That would have been way better. At least explain it in some ways. They didn't do that for a while in episode 2, and it was bugging me.
Bugging him.
Bugging the snots out of me.
So I don't mind. I mean, maybe Shin didn't want to kill her, but she definitely wanted to incapacitate her enough to get away, and that's a great explanation if that's what they do.
Ahsoka tied up too.
Yeah, that's a great explanation.
Sure.
It slowed them way down. Now they can't chase them. If she's dead, then Ahsoka's instantly chasing.
Yeah, true point.
So, it's like nothing to stay for.
Statement.
But then there was a couple of other things after that, like why is she asking her questions? Why didn't she go check it out? What's going? There was a couple things at the beginning of 2, but that's okay.
It didn't seem like Ahsoka was really that concerned for her at all. Like they were talking more about her failure to hold on to the map and taking it out of Ahsoka's ship,
right?
More so than her being hurt, which is fine, but that's not the way to do it. Okay, I got so mad.
They definitely stressed
do better.
They definitely stressed the strenuous master apprentice relationship. They definitely pushed that in episode 1.
Yeah, that was
they're constantly and Hera's trying to make amends in between, and you said the droid did some stuff.
Hu Yang. Yeah, like the droid was almost doing a better job than anybody. Honestly, David Tennant, Hu Yang's character was almost a standout, a complete standout for me, other than Baylan and Shin. And I'd say Morgan Elsbeth and Marok. Those characters are my favorite so far. Like I just want to see them for the most part. But yeah, sorry, keep going, Dan. I kind of cut you off.
No, that's it. Hannah said, "Yeah, we needed a glad we got her right away, and that Sabine back to healing so fast would feel better than it did. We needed some like sentence dedicated to that. They showed it,
Yeah,
briefly,
and it was Hu Yang who said it. Actually, he said, "I heard your repairs were
right."
complete.
But Ahsoka was like, "It's Ahsoka's show. Like, is she really worried? I guess she's just not worried about. I don't know.
It's the first 2 episodes too, so we got to give it a little bit of credit. I think Ahsoka's gonna definitely get more time as the season progresses.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just trying to set up things here, which feels a little forced, though, to be honest.
Because everything else
catty,
with that,
like relationship,
the Force is a part of everything.
It is. It surrounds us and binds us.
Gotcha.
Because everything up to that point, there was a lot of Sabine, and I liked her defending herself when they, sneak attacked her. I liked seeing Sabine fighting and then fighting Shin at the end. That was a great way to end it. It's just then the way that it happened, I was like, oh, come on. And then it depended on how they played it out in episode 2, and then they played it out the wrong way, in my opinion. They didn't quite bring it up correctly and deal with it correctly.
Right.
That's okay, because I can delete that. If I delete that, everything else was great. I probably would give it more like a 5 out of 5, 4.5, 5 out of 5.
And what would have made that scene better was if she would have got her hand chopped off. I'm just saying that is poetry, and it makes more sense. Like she's hurt, but she's not going to die, so you don't have to explain that. Plus, she's a tinkerer, man. She's a tinkerer. She's going to upgrade her arm. Yeah. It's going to be even better. She's going to have so many gadgets and stuff like that. She's the smartest person ever, apparently. So it's like, yeah, why didn't you just do that? Come on. That would have made so much more sense. But I feel like Dave was like, no, it's too on the nose. I can't do that. I don't know. But it was, I think that would have been better. I think that would have fixed that. We would not have been nearly as upset. We'd have been like, oh, snap. Shin means business. Like, and that you didn't have to pull the fake death thing again. Son. You didn't have to pull a Reva to do it.
Right. It didn't need a fake death to end it. But Ellie, Blair's taking off. Thanks for jumping in.
Thanks for jumping in, Ellie.
I really appreciate
Hope
it.
you can watch back later.
Yeah, check it out later. Yep.
And thank you to everybody who's watching right now later. This is a live stream, of course, but we appreciate everybody who jumps in and watches later. And let us know in the comments what you think. Don't forget to hit a like.
And don't let any of our negative thoughts.
We're gonna get positive, and we're still balancing it out.
Distress you if you loved that thing, right? Like if you say something that you hated, and I loved that thing, you love that thing to your death, right? And if I say something negative on something that you loved, this is how we go, right? We can say our own thoughts here. Everybody's fair to say, and not like we're not judging you. We're like, you're wrong completely. We joke about that, but everybody has their opinion. Like Matt didn't like the loaf cat. I didn't mind the loaf cat. For me, I didn't like the stab. Other people were like, it makes sense. She got medical attention. It's all good.
Right.
Dustin didn't like some of the slowness of Ahsoka. And maybe others of you were like, she was perfect. It was the perfect Ahsoka, know? So it's subjective. This is not like
for sure.
a hard and fast objective. There's no way to put that on art,
Right, yeah. For sure. Yeah, we respect everybody's opinion.
Absolutely. I definitely, though, did not like the creepy droid legs coming down from the ceiling.
Oh, man.
In the background. I was like, is that a spider at first? Oh, that's just too...
That freaked you out.
That's triggering.
That's so...
I watched it back a second time, that scene, and I was like, actually, it's clever. More clever the way they shot that episode or that scene the second time.
It was sneaky. So the visuals again were good, but man, no, that's
a pro there,
nightmare.
I'd say. All right, I'm saying a pro for the second for me, negative for you, pro for me.
So we agree to disagree.
We even each other out.
That's right.
I was just gonna say, okay, I want to get everybody's thoughts here real fast. What characters were the best for you guys, and what characters were the worst for you guys in this show so far? Matt, what do you think? Who's the real standout for you, and who really needs a lot of work?
I would say Balin.
He's a standout.
Probably was standout.
Man, he's good. Yes. What a good beard.
And thank you.
You look fantastic.
And
the loaf cat.
The loaf cat needs some work.
Hate it. No.
We can come back.
Out of like the main character.
Out of the main.
Yeah, the main characters.
I got the. Yeah, come back.
All right, we'll come back to you. All right, Dan, what about you? Who's a standout and who needs work?
A couple of standouts, but definitely Ray Stevenson.
Oh my
Balin
goodness.
was just awesome. Again, for me, all the dynamic of all of the villains together. Shin with Balin, but mostly because Balin anchored it. Morgan Elsbeth was fine in her shots with them together. They were an intimidating group.
Yeah.
And then the droids on top of it. And then Inquisitor Marok.
Yeah.
When they're all together, they're like a formidable foursome, and they're like making me nervous.
Yeah.
But I felt the weight. The dialogue didn't drag when they were together either. Like when they're talking, like they got a purpose. They know where they're going.
Yes.
They're not questioning.
The pacing
was spot on. So
that
was amazing. And then I think Sabine probably as the good person was the standout star of the heroes, the protagonists for sure.
Yep.
So everybody else, I'm not saying Ahsoka was on the bottom end. Least favorite for me was probably Hera. Right.
Oh, for you? Okay.
I think Hera was maybe, and then she wasn't terrible.
That's kind of where I was going to lean.
She wasn't terrible either.
Okay, you feeling the same way? Hera was a little lackluster for you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bottom of the barrel. Actually, that dude who played the Sabak hand was probably the worst.
He was probably the worst. Yeah, he was.
Because everybody else,
it's hard when you got a show of really good. There's 8 main characters going around right now.
Right.
There's a lot.
We haven't seen any of the other people.
There's definitely a lot. What about you, fact checker?
Favorite, was Balin, for sure.
What a handsome, captivating, rugged, that guy is a dreamboat.
Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Wow, I wasn't
Silver
going there.
Fox. Look at that guy. I hope I can be him one day.
It was just nice to see someone with the Force using the Force. I mean, he was doing it in bad ways, but it did remind me of Luke and how strong he was and sensing things, or even Yoda, or Qui-Gon. I don't know, all of them. But obviously, I hope he turns good. Or more good than evil.
I think the ambiguousness of that character is what's fascinating.
That's true. It is very intriguing, the mystery.
Yeah. They're the most mysterious part, I feel like, in some ways, so far of what we've seen. And that's what's intriguing. But it's also the fact that they're so, Shin looks like she's scared of everything, which is hilarious in some ways, but also kind of scary at the same time.
Yeah, she's unhinged.
Yeah, unhinged.
Yes,
she looks like she
every
has
time
a demon in her.
What was that?
Looks like she has a demon possessing her.
She kind of does.
Yeah.
Her eyes are like they're
so
like black,
wide.
and you're like,
yeah.
oh, who's that lady?
Yeah, but I really did not.
What a catch! Am I right, fellas? Demons come out. Well, sorry.
For the person or actor or character that needs, I don't know, just be better. I agree with a lot of people in the chat. Morgan Elsbeth, I almost cannot stand her at this point. And I know it's only been 2 episodes, but there's just something about her that doesn't sit right with me.
Well,
and,
she was a witch, so
I will say
part of it, but
because I didn't necessarily not like her, but
Matt thought
That's
she was
fine.
cute.
no,
Hey, girl.
she looks like she'd be a witch.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
they
a
did
night
cast
sister.
her well
Yeah.
for that.
She's definitely a night sister. Yeah.
So I don't think it bothered me that much.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
She
fine.
owns the role
She-
that she looks.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like,
yeah.
like you want to not like her, and it fits.
It's kind of more than that for me, but
Wow, fact checker getting
but
feisty.
I don't know. Just she almost seems like she's overacting somehow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
hmm.
That just-
Interesting.
Hey,
Yeah,
everybody's got
that's-
their own takes. That's what's
A
interesting.
couple of
I didn't
people in
even
the
think about
chat
that.
agree with her. A lot of people
Okay.
did, and I kind of didn't mind it as much. But that's why we agree to disagree, or we
Yeah.
just have different opinions. We see it differently, you know. So that's
Mhm.
cool.
You
Yeah,
know,
thanks.
that was a great point. I had a crazy theory, and like because of the world between worlds, one of the things I thought was not Morgan Elsbeth at ours. Sorry, I'm taking a hard right. Swipe right.
Oh dear.
Oh, you said Shin was somebody.
I was gonna say the crazy theory with World Between Worlds is what if Shin Hati? I don't think it's actually true, but what if Shin Hati was pulled from like the World Between Worlds, but is actually Asajj Ventress from like a different timeline or like a different if he would have got Asajj before she became like the dark side, because she technically was a Padawan, like a Jedi Padawan before things went south for her, and then
Right.
she joined the dark side. What if it was that? I think the facial tattoos don't really line up with that. And technically Asajj is also a Night Sister, so I guess she would know more with Morgan. But I was like, that would be a crazy twist. What a twist!
Getting twisted.
But anyway, back to the topic on hand, though. For me, when it comes to standouts, definitely Hu Yang. I loved him. David Tennant is amazing. He played that role. He was doing a better job than Hera was on getting Sabine and Ahsoka back together, and he actually got a laugh out of me. Like one of the only times I laughed was whenever he was kind of throwing some shade at Sabine, and it was hilarious when he's like, of all the Jedi younglings I've ever known, you would rank far below all of them when it comes to the Force. I was like, dang, Huang.
Dang.
You just threw some shade, and it was hilarious. I liked that.
Well,
And
you
David
and-
Tennant, I just love David Tennant.
You're
too.
on the
Like,
same train as Tayhawk for some reason.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Well,
But-
she's got good taste.
That's
so.
right. So
Okay.
But then, and then Balin is the next for me. Both of those two characters, I mean, the gravitas, everything was just amazing. Of the mains, I would say Sabine is probably the standout when it comes to the girl power, girl bosses. And I say that how I mean it.
Yes. I understand.
But you know what? Honestly, for me, and I kind of hate to say it, but Ahsoka was the most painful for me to watch. I hate to say that, and I don't want to throw shade at her. I love Ahsoka, the character, but Hera actually grew on me more than Ahsoka did throughout this. It was like the way she was saying things, it was like trying to be wise. Like it was like somebody trying too hard to sound wise
Not
or
being
sound cool.
genuine.
And it felt very flat. Like I get that they're
flat. That's a good word, actually.
It was just very flat. There was not a lot of emotion. She definitely did some cool fighting and stuff like that, but the speech, the forced cattiness between her and Sabine, especially coming right off the end of Rebels, just didn't really feel like it fit. That was the thing.
I think what it is, because
such a tough time with even her dialogue,
Yeah.
her pacing of the dialogue. It was like, we need less mature Gandalf, Ahsoka, and more snips thrown in there. We need a little bit of snips thrown in there.
A little
and I think it would sell it.
irresponsible. Little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think
This, a little bit
you're
that.
exactly right. And I think it's partially intentional.
Which that's a good point.
I think it is.
Room to grow.
I think there's room to grow, just like Snips did. Hannah says, I think Ahsoka is mentally breaking down, not going to lie.
It could be that
She's
as well.
dealing with some stuff. She's not sure. She's living in her ship. She doesn't talk to a lot of people.
That's
the only time she ever comes out of hiding is when there's like a super emergency, and she's failed with Ahsoka. She walked away. She said that. Or with Sabine. She walked away from Sabine. She walked away from Anakin.
But for reasons.
For reasons.
Yeah,
which I hope they get into that, because right now it's kind of like, okay, you going to explain this?
I'm just thinking, like, let's go outside of the show. Like, Rosario Dawson loves Ahsoka so much.
Yeah.
Do you think she loves dry, boring Ahsoka? I don't think so. I think the reason that Rosario Dawson wanted to be fan casted is because she kind of has that natural personality of being bubbly, friendly, joking, like encouraging people. So I think it's harder for her to act like this opposite Sabine, like act mad at Sabine. Because naturally, when they do bond in the next couple episodes,
it's going to be a lot more believable.
I think it's going to be all of a sudden Ahsoka's going to come out of her shell. But as a result, I think it just didn't portray correctly to launch the show, like you're saying.
Right.
So you're right. You're not wrong. You're 100% right. It was like one note, and I don't want my hero, my protagonist, to be one note.
Yeah.
I want her to have dimension. I want to see her cry. I want to see her laugh. I want to see her smile. I want her to be serious and angry. And I've seen so many of these protagonists like be one like flat. They're just one tone.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I like if the protagonist, the namesake of the show.
Yeah.
Some people argue that Mando was a little like that in Mando season 3.
I would argue
quite
that
have
Mando
enough.
showed more emotion than Ahsoka did.
I mean, maybe under the helmet.
Under the helmet.
Yeah, right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then on top of the fact that she's a little bit of a passenger through this show, like they didn't give her a lot to do.
What is that about Disney and all these shows? Like even Andor, it's funny because we say Andor is the main character, but he didn't really feel like the main character. It was more like Andor's there and everything's happening around Andor. It's not like Andor really had... That was actually a negative I have of Andor. It was almost like he's not exactly the catalyst. It's everybody around him in some ways that we're learning about. He is, but he isn't. And it felt like the same way with Mando in season 3. It was like, all right, Mando's in this, but we're learning. He's just the vehicle to get us to all these other characters that we really care about, in some ways. That's what it feels like. And even Ahsoka, it was like, yes, we started off with her and stuff like that, but it felt a lot more like Sabine's show. And maybe it's just the first 2 episodes.
Because they killed her. I mean, they didn't, but they did.
Yeah, exactly.
But they did come together in the end. And I feel like that was the whole goal of the 2 episodes, just to get to that 2-second clip in the ship as they're flying off. They're, they're back to Master and Apprentice. And that's fine. But I don't know, 2 hours maybe could have been spent a little bit differently. I liked it though.
Is that what they did? They filled the gap between Rebels and where we are. Like, it kind of filled up time. Because I'm like, when does this take place? Is this, we kind of finally figured it out that it ends in the second episode right when Rebels left off. So this is all kind of the tumultuous time that they had a little bit of trouble, right? Leading up to that, which makes some sense. And now it's time for them to really launch Rebel season 5. Find Ezra, find Thrawn.
It felt forced though in a lot of ways. That's the thing. That's the thing. It did not feel like a natural progression. And I know they're alluding and they are going to, Dave Filoni's going to explain why that happened, hopefully. If they don't, then we got bigger problems. But that cattiness just felt so forced to me. That was the problem. And that's why it didn't almost like, especially with how Rebels ends, like it's so hopeful. It's so like we're off to a new start.
Yeah.
And
we kind of went back.
It felt like we took like 2 steps backwards. And I don't know. It just didn't feel like it lined up. And that's one other negative I want to say is episode 2 at the very end. Basically, where is her staff? Is that the same scene?
Yeah, you were like really passionate. We went and watched it.
It's bugging me, man. It bugs me. I know it's a silly gripe, but Dave Filoni, I mean, come on. It's like moving Kylo Ren's scar. Like
yeah,
what?
Right.
I mean, I guess, but why? Just throw it. Like, it's not that hard to throw in a staff. Even if it's just like unless it's a different time, unless that scene isn't actually the scene, although it's dang close, or it's going to be a world between worlds scene where that same scene happens again. and it's like a do-over.
Like Groundhog's Day.
It could be, but why? Why do that?
I mean, we're hopefully going to find out.
I still have faith in Filoni, right?
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Okay, I'm making it sound like a bigger deal than it is.
But it caught your eye because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Keep canon. Yeah.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I'm waiting for the other shoe
I liked what Ninjaneer said earlier. He was on the same train with me, but Secret Songs 20 actually, and Ninjaneer. But Secret Songs 20 said, Ahsoka needs to hear Anakin say it wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe that'll change how she sees things. You know, she's going to have some emotion. I think she's going to cry it out. I think she's going to,
All right, let's get into another aspect of this. What did you guys think about the action, like the actual fighting? Because there was a lot of lightsaber duels in this so far, and again, they were good, not great. I'll tell you my favorite one was the fight between Ahsoka and Marok or whatever.
Yeah.
That was definitely my favorite. Marok.
Yes.
That was my favorite fight scene of all of them. But I still enjoyed the rest of them for the most part, other than the stabbing. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Matt, give it to me, please. Man. What do you think about that fight scene? What about that cat fight between Shin and Sabine?
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't love it.
Then I don't know.
Well, the ending kind of ruins it, but try not to think about the stabbing and try and think about like the choreography and them fighting. It was cool to see Sabine with the lightsaber. I'll say that.
Yeah, she's a little rusty.
She definitely was rusty, and you could see that.
I prefer. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do not come at him about this.
Well, she was just going for attacks. Like she was.
Felt like Shin was just playing with her.
Yeah, toying with her, and she was kind of. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is
did
here.
You say Sabine and Shin?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Ahsoka. Sorry. Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I agree. Sabine.
Okay.
Kirsten Allen said something I completely agree with. The duel between Marok and Ahsoka was Marok. Sorry, okay. And Ahsoka was so good, but when he was running through the gunshots, it was so Power Rangers. I completely agree with that. She said it felt like it could have been practical more. Yes, I completely agree. I noticed that even in the trailer, whenever Ahsoka was like running, it looked very silly to me. Whenever they were running through the blasters, and it was like it had no meaning, and they didn't change their trajectory at all. It wasn't like it meant nothing because they went right past both of them. So I was like, "What?" Well, that definitely felt Power Ranger. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to you, Matt. What were you saying? You had more to say about that?
I don't know. I just thought the fight scene at the beginning of the episode 1 was a lot better than.
Oh, you mean with
Ahsoka.
yeah.
Oh, with Ahsoka fighting those droids. That one was good,
and
actually.
Also the
the Balin and Shin. Yeah, that was more like Vader just wrecking shop in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool to see. I thought it was going to be a little bit more scary, though. They didn't make it feel like the Vader hallway scene, which I was kind of hoping they would, but I understand because they're more like in the middle.
Yes, exactly.
In the
middle? That guy was an idiot. The
captain. Yeah, for sure. But even when they were fighting all the other forces, it's like they need to start training troops on how to handle, like, if you encounter a Sith or a Dark Jedi, here's what you do, like 101, because I mean that just wrecks shop.
I think they just didn't think they were out there.
That's true. That's a good point. There were not very many of them. So
yeah, they tricked them.
But don't let them on your ship.
I know. Call their bluff.
Yeah, call their bluff away from the ship, where you have the complete advantage of blowing them out of the space. I was like, not sky, space. I glitched out there for a second.
Yep.
All right. What about you, Dan, and fact checker on the favorite fights? Yeah, action.
Yeah, I think Sabine was supposed to lose that first fight because she's rusty, because now we can see her get trained and get better, But
and wear her Beskar, wear her suit.
Yep, exactly. That makes me annoyed. Like she owned those droids. Everybody was saying in the chat, she destroyed the droids. Like they didn't stand a chance. And I liked that fighting.
That was good.
The saber fighting was a little wonky, but I would probably get destroyed too. And so it didn't look fluid. It's like when you're playing a game or a sport as a really talented athlete against somebody that's a beginner or like a novice. It does, like, you watch that go, you're like, this doesn't even look like it's natural, you know? But you watch two formidable, like, highly trained people go at it in fencing, let's just say.
Right, you can tell.
You know, it's like, it's a song, it's a dance, and it actually flows a little bit, you know?
It's a chess match.
And so for that reason, I can give a little bit of grace to the first fight. I thought Marok and Ahsoka was pretty cool. Yeah. Because I like seeing Marok.
He looked good, man. He looked solid.
It was a little stiff.
She was a little.
It was too short.
I think she moves a little slow.
Well, she's how old is she?
I don't know.
43 years old.
But I feel like she did all the action. Like I don't think there's a stunt double, except for maybe one of the running scenes. But I'm pretty sure she did. There was one where she was running super fast, and all of a sudden she slowed down. It looked really silly to me. To be honest. I was like, I think she was barely like trickle jogging.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. The running was definitely not a highlight. What she needs to do is go get some running training from the best runner of all time in movies, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. Oh, her Forrest Gump. Yes.
I thought you were going to say
Forrest Gump.
The chasing
Run,
Leia.
Forrest. Run, Ahsoka. Run. Sorry, keep going. Fact checker.
Mrs. Manrique said Marok looks skinny. What were we saying, fact checker?
Oh no, I was joking about the running, that they should take lessons from the people in Chasing Leia and Obi-Wan.
Oh no, that's what it felt like. That's the problem.
I know.
Definitely don't. Why did you have to remind us of Obi-Wan again, fact checker?
Well, I think that's what set you guys to look at the running in this show, because you hated it so much.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst thing ever.
So you're triggered by running now.
Where's triggered?
And where's Nick when we need him? Kirsten reminded us Ahsoka needs to get sweaty with it.
Yes, Ahsoka needs to get sweaty with it. She knows.
Run, Force, run.
Yes, run, Force, run.
An engineer wants to see Tom Cruise as the Jedi or Sith.
Dude, that would be epic, dude.
That'd be amazing.
Make him like a. Oh,
I couldn't see him in Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. It'd be very silly, but it could also be very epic. I'm just saying. If they play their cards right, it could be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pork Chop 25.
What's up, Pork Chop 25?
Recently, and said about Hera. She had a Karen moment with seeing where that hyperdrive was going when she saying, where's that hyperdrive going? Remember that? When she was like, where's that hyperdrive going?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, whatever. She was kind of bossing people around a little bit.
You want to bet? You know?
Yeah, it was kind of a little like.
It was very girl boss. There's a lot of girl bosses
throwing her weight around a little bit.
It was a little much for me.
Yeah.
And the villains for the most part were old white dudes. I'm just going to say that. Kind of silly. Okay? Kind of silly.
Yeah.
Kind of silly.
And they died.
Yeah.
Just very quickly.
But
Tayhawk had a good quick take. Ahsoka taking out the droids was cool. Totally reminiscent of Clone Wars show. More cleverness like that, please. But please stop showing her running. It looks awkward every time. Yep.
For sure. I will say in the beginning, it felt like a video game straight from like Jedi Survivor, whenever she's got to solve all the puzzles.
With Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it was Indiana. It felt like, it was a mix of Indiana Jones, Jedi Survivor, and Fifth Element. Because the thing that came out looked just like the movie Fifth Element. If you've ever seen that movie, it's a good movie, actually. I really like that movie.
Shin, I think, looks like the girl from Fifth Element, right? Am I thinking?
Yeah, she kind of does.
The
it's
red
a similar
hair,
hairstyle. Yeah, it was with red hair.
White.
It's almost like they pulled some. You could definitely see a lot of influences. Also, I will say, somebody else, when we were watching the show, said, what was the reference? It was Treasure Planet.
Treasure Planet.
That orb that she gets, the map, is one Hondo Treasure Planet. If you've never seen that movie, it is a fantastic movie. It's also a Disney movie, so they're technically stealing from themselves, which is okay, I guess.
Is that the Muppets?
No, not the Muppet. There is Muppet Treasure Island, and that is an amazing movie as well.
That's got a lot of memorable lines.
We're talking about
the big blue wet thing.
Okay, sorry, off target. Dang it.
We got Cabin Fever.
That was hilarious.
Let's not go down that road.
No, sorry.
That is an amazing one.
Yep.
Blitz me, Blind Pierre.
There's a lot of.
I see you, Billy. Okay, if Nick were here, he'd be saying literally all these lines, and it'd be way better. All right, there's a lot more to get into, though. Let's see what else you guys want to touch upon. Anything we're missing? We got to get to positives. All right.
Please.
We definitely have touched on a lot of negatives, and we've even balanced those out. To be fair, I'm just saying.
We're calling our own negatives out.
We're calling our own negatives out, and we're building up this show to be better than what we think it is. No, I'm just
like we're making reasons because we want the show to be massively successful.
We do.
I think a lot of people watched it. I don't know if the ratings
said the ratings were 94% positive. So that's pretty good.
I think, and I think a lot of that is though
too high.
I feel like a lot of that though is just because people know that this is the last hope in a lot of ways. And people like Dave Filoni and people like Rebels. So
I mean, but that all plays into it. Like I love Dave Filoni. So I'm not going to trash it, even if I think it's the worst thing ever, because I just want to know why he did these decisions. If he can explain himself, on certain things, because nobody thinks about this stuff more than Filoni. He eats, sleeps, and breathes Ahsoka, the Rebels show, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like that is his Star Wars universe, and he can weave in OG characters.
Was some of it what we feared, the Disney influence with selling the merch? So they had the orb, so the new map thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Which might be we don't know, but maybe a new toy or something.
That's true.
Building your lightsaber is something you can do in Galaxy's Edge, and there was a lot of the lightsaber stuff.
Well, because of Hu Yang. I can't say that word right.
Yeah.
Huang? Is it
He
Huang?
was the guy who helped build the lightsabers, correct? For
Yeah.
the Padawans.
And he's been doing it, he said, for like 3,000 years.
Well, he's...
Or he's got a database at least of 3,000 years of lightsaber making.
Was he supposed to be the same one that was in...
yes, the Clone Wars. Yeah, that's him. Because it was voiced by David. Both of them were voiced by David Tennant. Unless there's certain iterations, like they might change them out and then just get their memory banks.
Right.
But that was also what was so cool, because it was touching on like a lot of lore there. Like that character goes way back.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
All of that world building stuff is cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
And that's a huge positive of Dave Filoni and connecting things.
And to your point, Dan, we got to reserve a lot of judgment till the end of the season, okay? Because you can't, if we know Dave Filoni and we know where Ahsoka started to where she ended, we got to take this with a grain of salt in some ways, because he could be setting us up, like you said, for success, and we just got to give it the time it needs to get there. So that's why I feel like a lot of people are still positive, because they still have faith and hope in Dave Filoni and that he's going to deliver. He's going to deliver. And I do think he's going to deliver. I just hope it's to the degree that we all hope it's going to be. He's
getting his feet wet. He's getting settled in as it were.
Yeah, definitely. So those are some positives for sure.
Yeah, Kirsten Allen asked, what about a Chopper and AP5 filler episode?
Oh, yeah, the Chopper filler. Yeah, I also saw Hunter in there say, yeah, that's a good one. That's a funny episode.
But Chopper was amazing. But yeah, Chopper might have been one of my favorites. The little that we got him, he was, every time he was on just bring Chopper in the middle of his awkward conversations. Yeah. That's Rebels.
Seriously.
People arguing and then Chopper does something stupid.
That would have been perfect, even with Ahsoka, because that would have actually given Ahsoka some emotion. She could actually looked at him and give him like the side eye, like she was really good at doing for Anakin.
It lightens up the mood, right? And Rebels always lighten the mood. You had Ezra that would say something, or Zeb, they'd always snark off or something like that, and it's hard with these girls and the people that are in the show right now, because it's not like anybody they're all just downtrodden right now. And nobody's there to balance it. Chopper's there. He's just not there when they needed him, And that's what I think we missed a little bit of levity. There were a few funny parts, but
he was perfect.
But he was hilarious. He's just throwing his arms around just give me more of that, please.
And the funny thing too is you could definitely tell he was saying more so than ever, I feel like.
Well, yeah, I thought it was funny. We had the captions on and the captions just kept saying droid chirping or something.
Yeah.
Whereas
you could definitely hear dialogue.
That, and then it would click in my mind that, no,
did you go through my stuff?
Said words, yeah.
No, I didn't go through your stuff, Chopper. You definitely went through my stuff. I was his lines were just like that. I loved it.
I was like a little kid.
And then she's like, did you look under that thing? He's like, what? Oh. It was really funny. I really liked that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I definitely needed more.
Definitely need more Chopper.
And hopefully we will.
Yeah.
Right? He's tracking it.
We did not see Jason, though. I felt like Jason Syndulla.
Because
you think Jason's still going to show up in this? I mean, we've talked about it. We speculated yesterday. I think there's definitely a real possibility that he's going to show up in this, Hera's son.
Hopefully.
It just might be a little too early.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's definitely a lot. There's and we did have a theory though yesterday talking about Marok possibly being one of the kids from that Clone Wars episode with Huang. What? How do you say it, Matt?
Put me on the spot like that.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Huang.
You said it. Yeah, Huang. Because Ahsoka was there and she was helping them, and it was, what was the name of that kid? Shoot, fact checker, you got the name of the kid. Petro was the name of that kid. And it could be a similar build. I feel like that would be in a more emotional sequence, especially if she kills Marok, and it ends up being Petro, a child. That could take her over the edge. That could be a mental breakdown for Ahsoka.
No, they can't do that.
I don't know. I'm just saying. And then maybe Luke's gonna have to show up, give her a little hug.
I don't know.
And then
oh, you want Luke Ahsoka?
Oh man. Oh yikes!
All right.
No, but what I mean, Shin. I like the Baylan Shin communication that they had with the Jedi Order, and they were discussing, right? Weren't they a little bit?
Yeah. Well, and how she, Morgan Elsbeth was saying sentimental.
Yeah, right. And he said it's true or truth or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that line because he's standing by. He's like, it'd be sad for her to die. There's not very many of us left.
Yeah.
Is Baylan gonna turn good?
Shame. Yeah.
Is Baylan gonna help or is he gonna just be kind of in the middle?
Does Baylan know Luke?
Whatever Baylan does, what does Baylan gonna see Luke? That would be amazing.
That would be super
Or Grogu.
Cool,
or Grogu. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Grogu, but if the timing worked.
Timing is everything, Gary.
Baylan probably knows of Grogu, maybe.
I just had a thought and a reason why they're so cool. Because they're the morally ambiguous characters. They're basically Boba Fett from the original trilogy. Everybody thinks Boba Fett's awesome because they're just guns for hire. They're morally ambiguous. They're just doing a job and looking awesome doing it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Taking care of business.
We got Boba back.
Okay, we're not going far.
That's all you get.
That's all you get, baby.
But we got Boba back. Boba Baylan.
Boba Baylan.
Boba Baylan.
Boba Baylan, baby. Busy Biz, Baylan, Bobas. Boba Tea, Boba Fett.
What?
Wow.
What were you going to say? Fact checker?
Well, just about, I liked Baylan and Shin's talk, and like they seem to have like secret plots like that they're talking about in the background, because he'll just say, you go to Corellia, and Shin knows exactly what
I like that you brought up Corellia.
he needs to do. Okay, go ahead.
No, you finish your point.
Oh, no.
That was a cool planet that they went to.
Although I will say they mentioned nothing of Han Solo, which was a disappointment to me because Han Solo is from Corellia, and why not?
But Han Solo never showed up in Rebels, did he?
No.
We got Lando, we got
Leia. Yep.
But
you found out the hard one.
I knew that she was there. I just couldn't think of it. You know, when you need that.
It's tough when you're live.
Yeah, so it's true. And V Stuff and Things is here, by the way. She loved Chopper. She loved Baylan, Shin, and Marok. We did too. Yeah. We're on the same page. Those were just standouts. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that they didn't kill off Marok out of the gate.
I don't think yet. Who do you think he is? Even now, it's still like...
Yeah, I know.
Who do you think? I feel like now...
every episode.
Well, on that line, Inyaki's here, and he said waiting for Marok to have voice lines.
I know, like the mystery.
Yeah, it would help to analyze. It's probably going to have a voice distorter.
That's true.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it just adds to the mystery, you know. Even if they kill him, then you're like, well, who was he? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Scooby-Doo.
It's gonna be more disappointing if they don't give us an answer now.
Who's behind the mask? And Scooby-Doo, right? I mean, we got to know the villain. JQ said, interesting to point out Ahsoka taking Sabine as a Padawan and Din taking Grogu being a Mandalorian, which is an interesting in Star Wars history of starting a whole new generation of Mando Jedi.
We did it first. I'm just saying.
we did it first.
Did do it first in our fan films. Go and watch it and look at the timestamps.
Before Rebels.
Before Rebels even. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Come on, Disney, where you at?
Timestamps.
We got ideas. We got money. Yeah. No, we don't got money.
We need your money.
We need your money. We got ideas.
So V said, what if Marok is mute? And then Hannah said, well, Marok is a male for sure.
Definitely.
Amidst the fight, you can tell it's a male build one Hondo. And
One Hondo,
Mrs.
baby.
Manrique, what if Marok is blind? What if he's deaf? I don't know. A lot of theories.
There's a lot of theories. Like Kanan was a great theory. That was Miss Manrique, right? Who said that?
I think so.
I think it was Miss Manrique that said that was, I have it written down somewhere.
Kanan embodied, come back from the dead kind of thing.
Yeah. That would be epic.
The engineer said Marok equals Ezra. I'm calling it right meow.
Right meow.
Yes. I do that to my kids all the time. They're like, Dad, you just said meow. I'm like, no, I didn't. I said right now. They're like, no, you said meow. And I was like, okay, kids, do it right meow. And they're like, you did it again, Dad. It's hilarious. Anyway, sorry.
Night Sky, he's definitely man. Now I want to know what they're going to do with Barriss. You can't say you have plans for her and never do the plans.
That's a good point.
Come on, bring it.
Yeah, the ascendancy, calling it out.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we know, like, what do you guys think of the Eye of Sion? Wasn't it the Eye? It was the Eye of Sauron, but the Eye of Sion.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that, baby?
It was interesting. Yeah. That's where I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I think Bismo had a video on that. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, we're going to have to
Speaking
watch
of
that.
not outer rim or outer
galaxy,
but it was like another galaxy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a big step because jumping galaxies is not an easy feat, obviously, because that's why they had to build that. And Sion is technically I think an Old Republic character that was basically unkillable. Like you couldn't kill the guy. Like he was like a Sith Lord. Who? Sion is a character. It's like Darth, I'm pretty sure there's a Darth Sion from like along. Let's check it. Fact check.
I'm gonna fact check that.
See, it's his Old Republic character that's like unkillable, invincible is what I should say.
Okay, the Lord of Pain.
The Lord of Pain. Yes.
Was
why else would they call that Eye of Sion?
I don't know.
They be bringing the pain, baby. They're gonna get Thrawn. Is that
what they're saying Thrawn is? Yeah, he's now the new Darth Sion.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeesh.
Well, and obviously we know it's not a spoiler. We're gonna see Thrawn. They show him in the trailer, so obviously their mission is successful. We know that
to an extent.
Okay, we've got the Roll Twins bringing the info,
bringing the facts, baby.
So yeah, Hannah said Darth Sion couldn't die unless convinced. The Apprentice of Darth Kreia.
Where is that?
Kreia. Kreia.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
go
ahead.
Night Sky said Sion is from Coder 2, who was held together by the Force and could only die if it was willing.
Basically if they willed it to happen, but otherwise they couldn't die.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
That's a deep cut. Like we all just, for me, I just went straight to like Sauron because I was thinking Lord of the Rings. But Sion, that's a whole nother aspect. Like, are they going Old Republic on us potentially?
Yeah.
It's in a whole, what if that other galaxy potentially is the Old Republic? Like, I don't know. There could be a lot of things that they're going into. Introducing an entire new galaxy into Star Wars, that's big. Like
that's a whole new species.
The possibilities are endless at that point. Like you can, and that could be a totally new thing.
And only the Purgles and this ship can get there.
Yeah. Also, whenever Balin was on the planet, that planet they were on with all the red trees.
Yeah.
When he looks up, I didn't notice it. Actually, my wife did. She said, "Was that the sound of a space whale, a Purgle?"
Ooh.
And I think it might have been.
Interesting.
If you rewatch that scene where he looks up to the sky and you're like, why is they showing him just looking up to the sky? There's a sound in there that sounds like a Purgle. So you're like, I don't know what that means, but it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
And people don't want time travel, they're saying.
Yeah, or V said, imagine a Star Wars multiverse. Is that where we're heading?
We could be.
No, it's too similar to Marvel.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game they're playing.
But didn't Elsbeth said she heard Thrawn speaking to her, and then Balin was like across space and time.
What? Yeah.
Then they're hinting at a world between worlds, or they're hinting at some type of.
Something.
Did he jump him to World Between Worlds location with the Purgle and then like jump from there, to like a different place?
Right.
Or I don't know what Ezra did. You don't get, I like how they leaned into Ezra a little bit though. Cause like obviously people that never watched Rebels are like, why do you keep talking about Ezra? Who's this Ezra guy?
Right.
Why are they talking about Thrawn? Who's this Thrawn guy?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I actually didn't feel like they did a good enough job explaining to new viewers that have not watched Rebels or Clone Wars who these characters are. Like I really don't feel like they did a good job hooking people with that.
Like they never mentioned Kanan. They never mentioned her son, like Hera.
Right. Or why are these characters important to us? That's the other thing. Like what are these characters' motivations in some ways? I don't really feel like they did a great job explaining that.
Yeah.
Right. It's confusing because most people that are watching the show are fans of Star Wars and they know they've at least seen Clone Wars and probably Rebels, but other people now are just, they like Mando, they like Disney Plus, they like the new era of Star Wars, and they're just like, oh, it's Ahsoka. Who's this? Right. I never watched it when it was on Disney XD. I was 4, or whatever. There's an era now that people hadn't seen that. So it's hard to balance like over explaining and not explaining for the rest of us that know everything.
It is difficult. In some ways it's treating your audience like they're smart, like
that's true.
And that they don't need everything like explained to them. But at the same time, show it, don't necessarily say it. You still kind of can show it a little bit more. I felt like they could have done a better job with that. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, we definitely touched on a lot of negatives. I think, did we touch on any spoiler positives, really? We kind of balanced it out throughout the whole thing.
No, no, it's all baked in together. There's like, we're like, question, why didn't they do this? Well, they did that. And it's just an open-ended book. Night Sky said it earlier. It's just the first 2 episodes. We all, there's still a long way to go. And if it's Filoni, we know he knows how to do this stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's just the growing pains of live action.
Yeah, for him. Yeah, agreed. Definitely.
Well, and for us too.
And seeing these characters. What was the most jarring character for you to see live action in this? Like coming from the Rebels to live action.
Jarring?
Yeah, which one did not seem to fit the most? Or which one did fit the most? I'd say Chopper fit the most.
Yeah, Chopper was perfect.
For me, it's like Chopper, Sabine. They were definitely like some of the best.
Yeah, they just transitioned.
Then I would actually say, in some ways, I'd go Hera, even though I didn't think it was really like spot on.
Because Hera was very human-like.
Yeah, that one to me, she felt more peppy than motherly, and like general, she felt a little bit more like, hey, like kind of like Karen, like more so than like motherly and like like. She didn't have that commanding presence, I feel like, that Hera did in the show, in Rebels. But then after that, I'd say probably Ahsoka. Oh, but actually the best one, other than is, what's his name?
Azrati, or I was just thinking about that.
Azadi. He was one of the best.
He was the perfect Mr. Krabs himself, bro.
Do you guys agree with that list, or would you change any of those?
I thought Sabine last.
You put Sabine last, actually?
I mean, not Sabine. Hera.
Ahsoka.
You put Hera last. You'd switch Ahsoka and Hera. Yeah.
Ahsoka's Leku are better.
They are better. That's a good point.
Her costumes we've seen her live action, so it wasn't quite as jarring.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good call.
I thought Ezra did a great job.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, nice fact checker. Yeah,
Ezra did a good job.
Ezra, other than the whole
friend zoning.
Sister zone.
Sister zone, yeah. Why you gotta do that, man?
Why gotta do that, man?
They're just teasing it. They can't give it away until he gets back.
Yeah. But I just really hope they're not like,
I think they will.
If they don't give us Ezra Bean, there will be riots in the streets.
There will be riots in the streets. And V's stuff said Sabine did some really stupid things in the first episode, but Hunter says Sabine was great. That girl did a good job.
Right.
Night Sky, Sabine up top. Honestly, the Lothcat was the most jarring because Rebels show them as a lot rounder, but I still really like him.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
There you go. So Hunter and Night Sky are on the same page there. Hannah, Sabine is the best. Hunter says Hera is most jarring. Skylark, Hera's most jarring. Engineers just laughed at us. No, I'm kidding. Ezra's already back. He's Merrick. What are you talking about?
I still think that would be a great point.
That would be fascinating. Because then somebody said in the chat, I think it was Secret Song said, why didn't Ahsoka sense it?
That's a good point.
However, there was a moment.
It was kind of a moment.
She looked up at the ship with Shin and Merrick.
Yeah,
and was like there was a little bit of emotion or a little bit of, discernment. There was something going on.
Yeah.
Why would she stare him down? Why would she even take time to do that? She sensed something, I think. Yeah, I don't know. We're not getting a lot of acting out of Ahsoka right now. That's giving us more layered. It's the same response to like, I'm mad, I'm happy, I'm sad right now, but it all looks the same.
Right. I liked the way he used the Inquisitor blade too. Whenever he threw it at her and then just took off running.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that tracks. And then when he jumps on the ship and calls it back, and she's like,
you know who would have done that because he wasn't a very good duelist?
Ezra.
Yeah. He's not a very good duelist, so he would distract. He would,
and he was fulfilling his mission. It was more important to him to fulfill the mission than anything.
Yep, and he had a robot do the bidding, which he always used Chopper.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will say though, Ahsoka, did she have psychometry? There was a moment where she was like being Detective Ahsoka back at Sabine's place, and she was using the Force, and she was like remembering the scenes that was going on there, and they used the Force sound. And I was like, does she have psychometry now? I was like, are they just giving her every Force ability, or unless it's a learnable trait? Because if you in Jedi Survivor, he can touch things, or there's spots where he can remember scenes that happened in the past.
Yeah, but she didn't.
But I thought psychometry was a little bit more difficult than that. Not everybody just got it.
You would think.
Yeah,
but she didn't touch anything. I think she was replaying what she heard when she was in the hospital room from Sabine.
Yeah.
And she was locked into Sabine's mind.
It just threw me off a little bit. Like, I don't have a problem with it necessarily.
Yeah. I
mean,
it was
Mrs.
just Manrique said we're in a time cage, so anything could happen.
Yeah, true. A time cage.
And also Mrs. Manrique said that the, where'd it go? Crap. The Senator Jai Kell was the boy Ezra made friends with in the Empire Academy.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Wow, good callback. That was a funny moment, actually. The transition where he's like, cover for me, and then he's like, what? And then he brings out, he's like, thank you for that warm welcome. It was like so awkward.
That is really cool, actually.
I thought he was from something.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't know exactly what, but I thought
good call
in the past.
Nice
guy. I was happy for Jai, honestly. Yeah,
and
that's cool.
Hannah said, Night Sky said, I think she has a sensitivity for Force echoes, but not as good as Cal. So
similar to Cal. Psychometry, which is also so does Quinlan Voss. He has psychometry where you can touch an object or sense an object and then replay things that have happened with that object around, or people who have touched it or something like that in the Force. It's just a really interesting Force ability. And I have heard rumors that Ezra is going to have a completely new Force power coming from,
I think it's called lightning.
Well, no, they're saying something. Yeah, he's just the dark side. He's been chilling with Papa Palps.
Or playing with we're a different time from. I can't say the name.
No, I heard. I saw a crazy rumor out there where people were like, "What if Ezra is Snoke?"
Oh wow!
I was like, that actually could kind of work.
Oh my goodness.
Not that I want it to.
Wow.
Also, I heard. I was thinking about Sabine Wren. I was like, if she becomes a Jedi or Force ability, but not Force, does she start the Knights of Ren from the sequel trilogy? I really hope they do not connect the sequel trilogy to this at all. I'm really hoping they don't.
I don't know.
But they might be trying to do that in some ways, especially with the Mandalorian season 3.
Those droids were kind of like Knights of Ren-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they kind of reminded us a little bit of that, even the voices and such.
But it's
the voices.
It's Sabine Wren, WREN, and Knights of Ren is just REN.
Yeah, I believe somebody could shorten it.
Hey, staff, no staff.
Letter.
Yeah, staff. Nothing really matters in canon at this point.
Oh my god!
If you're gonna have a staff and then not have a staff, I mean, what else?
If I'm gonna make an animated show and I'm gonna reshoot it shot for shot for the sequel, I'm not gonna do the staff again. I did it once.
How difficult was it for the staff?
I mean, let's not use that staff again. We can't find one. We can't possibly make it. We don't have a good props department.
Right.
Props to you, props department.
Oh my goodness.
I like how you went more intense on that than I did.
I don't know. I just laid into it.
I like it.
I mean, it makes sense. Hey, if I'm going to be continuous, I might as well forget something.
Right.
I only wrote both of them.
I only wrote and shot both of them.
But then again, I can't remember what I had for breakfast. So
you know what he needed? He needed Sam Witwer there to remind him.
That's true.
That she had the staff.
Well, he is there. He's Marach.
Also, the other weird thing is in in Ahsoka, the trailer, the font, there's the circle thing, and that's the same that's on her staff. So it feels, again, even more like a missed opportunity. Yeah. Circles. We love circles here at Stay on Target.
How many circles do you count in this image?
1,
Oh, wow.
2, 3. No, I'm
Oh
just
my goodness.
Just kidding. The engineer says time travel, hence possibility to prevent the sequels from ever happening. Ahsoka
I hope
sees
so.
what happens and says, heck no.
Heck no. Yes.
Rey loser Skywalker needs to stay out of it, says Hunter.
And then Skylar said, "Where's the staff?"
Hashtag where's the staff?
Where's the staff?
Mr. Meek says, okay, Kyle.
Instead of Kylo.
Carl. Night Sky and Hannah were talking about
Kylo.
Kyle
Ren. Kyle Ren. It's like way
awesome.
less cool.
Skylar, good question. Where's her owl?
Yeah, that's a great point. Where's
Convor?
Mirai?
Mirai.
Convor.
Yeah.
Yep. Where's Mirai? I feel like Mirai shows up in more significant moments for Ahsoka's life. You know,
True.
like Mirai showed up whenever after Order 66, when she buried all the clones and she dropped her lightsabers in the snow and was like, yo, I'm out. And that's like,
Peace.
yeah. That's where I feel like Mirai kind of shows up in those things. And then when she came back from War Between Worlds, Mirai was there again, which is basically the sister from the Mortis arc. But what do you guys think? Matt?
I think.
Do you want to see some owls? Hoo, hoo.
I think it'd be cool to have them in there.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
Mirai.
I thought it was a cool pet, I guess.
Yeah, like we
have.
talked about last week, question of the week. Favorite pet.
Favorite
Yours was
pet.
the Loth Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't we see any Loth Wolves?
Because Kanan hasn't shown up. We'll see Loth Wolves when Ezra shows up in Kanan.
Yeah. It would have been cooler if she rode the Loth Wolf like in and out of town.
Yeah.
Oh man, that reminds me of something. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about that scene, that extended action scene?
No, I'm talking about, well, maybe. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, her riding on the bike and the music.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, sorry. Did you guys like the music or did you not like the music? I'm of two minds of it. I'm
Hey.
like, okay, yeah, she's a punk rocker, but at the same time, it felt a little jarring. What about you, Matt? What do you think?
I can't recall any of the music because music doesn't stick out to me like it does to you guys.
Yeah.
So I don't remember.
Well, they
but
like started playing like a punk rock song.
I do vaguely remember that though. Yeah. I just can't.
Well, it wasn't punk
Think
rock.
of it.
It was like Japanese
I think
rock.
it was Twillick.
Twillick.
I want to say
Okay.
it sounded like Twillick language.
But you know what it was? Has anybody out there, this is going to be a weird call out, ever played the game Splatoon 1, 2, or 3?
I think I played it with you.
I played
once.
it like once.
Okay. Splatoon is like a paintball, like gun shooter, like on the Nintendo system. Anyway, it's that music. It's exactly that music.
Is it?
It's no different. So that's what it reminded me of.
Splatoon on target, baby.
That's right. And so it's a random thing, Japanese rock. It's what it was.
Is it like K-pop almost?
But in its own way, it's its own
J-pop.
thing.
It's like
J,
punk.
it's not pop though.
Yeah.
It's J rock. You know.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it was. It was, Night Sky says it felt very Sabine. It made sense for Sabine.
Okay, yeah, that's why I'm like, I can understand it, but it was a little jarring. But I didn't hate it, I guess you could say.
It was a different vibe. Yep.
Yeah.
Like I could get it if maybe it was in her headphones or she's listening to it,
Right.
or something while she's riding and
Right.
rebelling against being at the meeting, like the Little Mermaid when the king Triton was like, where's Ariel? Remember that at the beginning of that? It was the same setup. The whole presentation.
yes.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
Sabine.
I was not following that.
And then
yes.
the whole thing builds
totally
to it
was.
and then turns into
Jai
Ariel's
he was Sebastian. Under
It
the
turns over
sea.
there and there's not Ariel and there's not Sabine. Find her.
Have
And
you
then
watched that movie recently?
No, but I just know that
You just
scene.
pulled that from the memory bank.
It's like it's a trope, It's like,
Impressive.
and we present
Most
this
impressive.
person and they're not there. It's only happened twice. Little Mermaid and
And this show.
no.
Oh.
You said it's only happened twice.
Yes, there's another one. I'm
Yeah.
forgetting the movie.
Who is it with?
Climb Every Mountain, The Sound of Music. It's only happened twice.
Oh, the Von Trapp Family
Von
Singers.
Trapp Family Singers.
So
Turn
it's
and
happened
it's not there.
And then this
Yeah.
show. So technically 3 times.
I'm going to shut up now.
No, you're good. The Von Trapp Family Singers. That's such a good movie.
I think the music helped set up the whole thing with the ships and the nod of respect from the pilot.
What was that though? Again, I mean,
I thought it was fun,
Bro's risking his job.
I
for
know.
that.
Seriously, he's like, I got a job to do.
but clearly,
Oh, she got under one ship.
But clearly,
Darn,
Mr.
I
Krabs.
can't
You have
say.
two, and you have air superiority and speed superiority. You can literally just follow her to her house and then take her home.
But she knew they wouldn't
It
do
was
anything.
literally a quarter mile that way.
Yeah.
and Mr. Krabs, he obviously understood and knew her. So
Mr. Krabs, do you
it
have
was
to?
just all
Mr.
for show,
Krabs.
but it was fun.
That's the same guy who voiced Mr. Krabs. He's the I forget his name every time.
Mayor or whatever.
Azadi?
it is.
Yeah, Azadi. Like mayor, or is he mayor or is he like Governor Azadi now?
Yeah,
I think
probably.
But yeah.
Tehawk said, "I agree. It was jarring, but it worked in the scene, so I guess it grew on me."
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I just, it was just a little jarring, but it wasn't bad. Although it was a little weird that she got under that ship and it was like, respect, man. Respect. We're out. You got us. Good job.
Well, that was the point of the show where we were,
But she is the hero, so I could see in a lot of ways, like she is one of the only ones left on Lothal that helped save Lothal.
I like seeing Lothal.
Lothal was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you got to get Lothal.
A little jarring. But we have talked a long time in spoilers. I think we've covered almost everything. If there's anything we've missed, let us know in the comments. Well, I think we've covered this from beginning to end. I was going to try and say something more clever. I had nothing.
From Studio A, Ahsoka to Z.
Studio Bonkers. Studio Bonkers to Studio A, Ahsoka, baby. Thank you, everybody, though, for your comments and hanging out with us tonight. Man, this has just been a fun time for us all to decompress, talk about everything that's happened in Ahsoka, our hopes, our dreams, our feelings, Matt's feelings, Kat's.
Matt did not share any feelings.
Yes, you did on the inside, and Darth Vader heard every single one of them.